So, yeah, I'm recording. I pressed a button. And she didn't know. Mind you, literally, we're coming to you. I have no edge control. There's nothing going on here. I put a sweater on so I can look a little bit more presentable. But yeah, we filmed our first podcast episode today. We were gonna record when we filmed because I feel like when we talk, we're so like into it and so passionate. But it didn't happen. There was wine, whatever. So, cheers and enjoy the episode. Yeah, it was good though. It was good.
I'm really proud of it, honestly.
So I think every podcast, because we're friends, we're gonna be chilling. Like we're gonna podcast, we're gonna drink, and then we're gonna turn up and listen to our playlist. We're gonna put it together separate, but then together. So this should be fun.
And then y'all get to listen.
So now we're about to listen. But yeah, we'll be filming the rest of the episode. So make sure to subscribe, whatever the hell people say, whatever the fuck. But make sure to do that. And cheers. Episode 1 today is January 6th, Wednesday. Wait, do we have a name yet? Let me just make sure we're recording.
I don't know.
Something along those lines that's like easy and that's catchy. We'll get it together eventually.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm gonna set a timer here. Bam, 30 minutes. So they're gonna get 30 minutes of our lives. Okay, so every day of our podcast, we still need a name, so that's question mark.
Right.
We're going to film on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so it's going to either be Wine Wednesdays or Thirsty Thursdays. We're going to be getting drunk one way or another.
Yep.
And so the 5 topics we're going to talk about is our day. That's 1 and 2. Then we're going to talk about the serious news, whatever. I'll let you handle. No, just kidding. We'll both handle that.
Somebody will take care of it.
And then we'll talk about the entertainment news. And then at the end, just our perspective, like how we feel on it. Like if we were in the fields and, I guess you can say like, a podcast is our opinion.
If we were being serious or if we're being on the couch, because right now we're on the couch.
Yeah, and drinking wine. So perfect. So, okay, our first topic is our day, but this is our first podcast, so it should be an intro. Yeah, my name is Imari. This is my voice. Hello. Check 1 2 1 2.
You're so dramatic.
No, but we're at my apartment. We are in Austin, Texas, and I have some cool mics and all that fun stuff set up. So I went to go scoop Devon. And I'm like, let's do this podcast, but of course, wine.
Wine. But we did argue if we were going to have wine or tequila.
We argued between wine or tequila. We argued about topics, but honestly, I think overall, all I did was work today, but it's been a weird, odd day. Even though I knew we were doing this podcast, we've been pushing it back, but you want to know why? I've honestly just been avoiding media today.
That's fair.
Again, it is January 6th.
You're one of the few in the world that's been avoiding the media today, for sure.
I've been avoiding media. We'll get into that. But yeah, that's my day. So that'll be how we start all the podcasts about like what we did today.
Yeah.
Because it's either going to be on Wednesday or Thursday or whatever.
Or whatever day.
But yeah, I worked, got my life together. I guess background. I'll give it background, whatever. I went to school for mass communications, Texas State University. Go Bobcats. Great degree, did that and Spanish. So I wanted to be a bilingual reporter. I worked in news and I decided, whoa, this is very hard hitting and I'm going to take it home with me. I keep thinking about all the stories that I told. So had an amazing mentor and pretty much explained to me, like, you can still be doing a public service if you're not in hard hitting news. So then I went into radio because, voice, people were like, oh, you should do radio. Ended up being super fun, loved it, fantastic. But just the more that I like grow in media, I realized A, money wise, like I can make more money, working from home. But B, like, I just realized that it's so important to be able to tell your own story. And sometimes working for a company, it's hard to find the fine line between your opinion and what you're getting paid to say.
Right. So
in this case, now I'm in a point in my life, it's 2021, where I went to school for, journalism, and I was, in my sense, learning what to get paid to say. And now I'm realizing the importance of being able to say what you want to say regardless of what the outcome is going to be, but it's because it's your perspective. And I feel like listening to the podcast, you'll start to learn my perspective is it's objective because I'm a journalist, so I'll have my opinion and then I'm going to state what the actual fact is.
Right.
So so that's how me and Devon, we got together, because we won't do a video for this one, too much work. We'll do a video in the future, like YouTube or whatever. But how we got together is that she is now in school for journalism.
I transitioned during quarantine. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my life? I've been a bartender for ever. I'm 25, so I've been a bartender for 6-7 years and service industry forever, and my job is disposable. My job was not as safe as I thought. I wanted to be a bar owner forever, and I was like, okay, this is not what I want to do. I went through a lot of life-changing things, went to therapy, and was like, you know what? I need to go back to school. I want to be a journalist. I want to voice my opinion. I want to voice, I want to be... I don't want to say someone who makes a change because that sounds so cliche, but I feel like I want to share what I have to say, and I feel like it's important, and I feel like I have a good view on things. I feel like I have a good head on my shoulders, and in today's world, everything's so polarizing and so just argumentative without being like, you can have a conversation without it being an argument. You can have different views without it being so angry or upsetting. And I was like, okay, well, I need to go back to school. You know, I went through a lot of life things. I want to write a book about my life. And I was like, you know what, journalism, covers all the topics. And so here we are. I'm still early on in school, but I'm learning what I can and learning from Imari and paying attention to what's going on in the world while still living my life. And I'm taking it one step at a time. I'm not trying to bypass my degree by any means. I'm still absolutely on track to get a good degree and get my education because I feel like that's important no matter what I want to do, no matter if this takes off or doesn't take off. I want the education to know that I'm doing things the way that I should be. Even if I can do it on my own. I can do this on my own, but who's to say I'm doing it the right or wrong way? And I want to use my own voice. I
think this dynamic and even us, what we talk about, because we're being vulnerable in the sense of detailing step by step of going through this. I, learned that I was disposable in a sense. Right. And I learned that I have a degree and everything, but I still lost my job, got furloughed, I'm trying to figure it out, transition from home. And in your sense, okay, from your career, which you thought was going to be stable forever, now, okay, it's so important to do what I want to do. I still feel like these steps are, it's good to be vulnerable because it's you have a celebrity and you feel like they're unrelatable, but somehow they had to start at one point of another. Right. So in my case, my day-to-day life, I might be streaming, I might do Instagram, I might be do this or voiceovers, and I have to be super happy and on and whatever. People don't know that I drink. People don't know this. They don't,
you have that bubbly I'm a personality. Yeah, I'm doing this but it's today.
I'm a real person. Gosh. Yeah. I'm a real person, and we stress and we struggle, so... I like podcasts because I'll listen to it all day and I'll be like, I like this because it's literally just a real person. It feels like someone is talking to me. Someone else could listen and be like, I feel that. Or dang, I never knew that. It's uncensored.
And we're real, we're real people. We're not some person with a crazy platform or some, pretty girl on Instagram with 1 million followers. Right. And people forget that people are real and people forget to be real. Yes. And that's the problem with media.
You don't want to get jaded. You don't want to get jaded because, again, there was a point, when I work for a big company, you feel they do things.
You get excited. You're doing these big things. Yeah.
And it's not what you believe in, but you do it because it's your dream. And that's what you went to school for and that's what you did. But it's wait, no, I actually went to school to have integrity. I went to school to have morals. I went to school to have ethics. So... this is against all that I truly want to do. So is this really the dream? Because there should be someone that understands and that my integrity should go a long way. That's why you do the right thing. Right. Going to school, my mindset opposed to now, it's so different. I realize actually no, it's completely different reasons. I want to help people and I feel like there's certain things that I want to say or I talk to people and I love people so much, I want to take their perspective and get it out there because they might not want to say it or they're willing to confide in me because they know that I will say it and tell their actual words. So that's how we came together. It's funny because so earlier today, talking about our days, I called my sister and told her that we were doing a podcast. And she's like, okay, cool. I'll listen and give you my feedback. And even my friend was like, how can I tune in? I'll listen. And then your dad, too, was like, oh, cool. What can I contribute? Yep. It's those things. Oh, so good hearing from you, your voice. It's people know you from hearing, what you're talking about, but they can relate to you. And that's the good thing about the day and age. But then, of course, it's it has its pros and cons, which we'll get into. We'll definitely get into. So, okay, so now getting used to the structure of this podcast, we're going to talk about the big points of the day. And my voice has changed because we got serious news that's coming up first.
Wah, wah, wah. It's a really bad sound effect, but I felt like it was necessary.
Was good. Eventually we'll get fancy and we'll be able to like have keyboards.
I want to press a button and do something. But, so.
If I had a button, I would have the
big headline of the day is the Capitol being protested at, rioted at, stormed, infiltrated, whatever term you feel you need to use.
Right.
It happened.
So we want to know something funny? So like going to school, right? You know, we would write certain headlines.
Right.
It's to the point to where you're desensitized because you want it to sound good.
Right.
You want it to be clickbaity.
You want it to grab attention. I fucking hate clickbait.
Unfortunately, you want it to grab attention, right? So nowadays, I will say, I really do respect and appreciate the journalists of today because there's no way in hell I could be ever, because of the news of today, that I could ever write an objective headline. And if I did write an objective headline, it would pull at my soul. When I tell you, it will pull on my soul. Mm-hmm. Because this is what's correct. Now, this is what the fuck I feel.
Right.
That's how I feel about today. Like, if this was news and I was in high school right now, would I go to college to be a reporter?
Right.
Hell no.
No.
Hell no. No.
And I'm sitting here crazy because this is the stuff that's fueling me to go to school to be a journalist.
What makes me think about it is like, if I was still in radio right now, I would have to be consumed by this media. But mind you, I had a great day.
Would you be able to discuss it?
Right. Would I be able to talk about it? What I really feel about it? And like, did it feel good? You know, you have a platform in a sense of like being able to talk to so many people, but you have to be politically correct. I worked in the top 40, so in a sense, you know, you want to be happy. You don't want to be sad. You don't want to be down. You just want to be happy. You want to be an outlet. But sometimes you want to discuss things and you don't want to worry about anyone else. You want to worry about how you feel about it. So like, what was going on in the media today, it was one of those things to where I rolled my eyes and I was like, I'm going to keep on about my day.
You turned it off.
Unfortunately, I turned it off. But if I worked in radio, I would have had to talk about it whether or not I was interested in the topic.
Right.
Really.
And I feel like so many people wish that they could do that, but in today's day and age, everyone's so consumed by the media, and especially because we're still sitting in a pandemic, so many people are still not at work, and so there's nothing else to do except be consumed by the media. And you watch the headlines and you watch the news unfold and you watch the videos and you over and over, you know, for a few and more, hours a day. This is what people did. People retweeted and reposted and shared and everything. And the real like situation of what happened or is happening gets lost like through every retweet.
Right.
Like if it's not an original thought anymore, like no one's paying attention to what's going on.
See, that brought me to the thought though, like what you were talking about earlier. So vaguely, you know, how we consumed what was going on today. And it's that mindset to where it's like, I'm supposed to be in media, but I didn't feel compelled to retweet. That's not how I choose, in a sense, to fight what's going on.
Right.
I think I'm in media. I need to learn more before I speak. So I need to do my research to find the facts before I say what I want to say. But at the same time, there was a point to where I would be criticized. Like, oh, you're a journalist. You're going to let them say this. You're going to let them say that. But it's like, yes, no. There's a difference. Like, I am a journalist. So we essentially, what people think a journalist is, you tell your opinion, F the media, you know, you're just saying what you want to say. No, what a journalist should be is you research and you tell the information. You tell a story. Right. You tell people's story.
There are
in your
different
own
types of journalists though.
Yeah.
So
but traditionally, like with the media and politics, because mind you, my social media, my Instagram, everyone knows I don't talk politics. I don't do politics. I don't talk. I will not.
Right.
And if I do, it's a big deal or it's a meme and it's something funny.
Right.
It's about, you know, Senor Trump or something stupid. Like, it is a funny meme and I'm like, I don't do politics, but this meme was too funny. I needed to say this right now.
Share it.
And it's about my stimulus check, okay? Because I'm broke, all right?
Right.
That's what
where the stimmy's at.
That's what I share. But at the same time, you know, people criticize for that. Like, oh, shouldn't you be? No, because I've done my research and this is how I feel, but you guys aren't ready to accept it right now.
Right. And
but then in your case,
people want their opinion. People want People want your opinion to reflect theirs. And that's not fair. Because it's so difficult to sit back and, like, you forget to criticize both sides.
Right.
You forget to criticize, you know, everybody. Nobody's completely correct. Nobody's completely right. Nobody's opinion is 100. Like, it's an opinion, and that's why it is that.
Agreed.
And people forget that there is hypocrisy on both sides of everything, and it gets to be too much. You forget to take a step back and say, oh, wait, did I say that at one point? Because now they're saying it, but I'm criticizing them for it. But wait a second, because last time I did it.
Right.
And it's okay to take a step back and say, okay, maybe I was wrong, or maybe I'm seeing this in a different light. But, like, nobody does that. Nobody is really open to seeing the full picture.
Right.
They only see what they want to see in that moment. Everyone has, like, tunnel vision.
They do. And, like, I mean, it's natural, I think, to think of something the way you want to see it. But I think what today taught me, of course, you learn every single day another reason why you don't judge a book by its cover. You should be fair. Right is right, wrong is wrong. So today taught me, like, before, I will say, like, you know, politics aside, getting down to, like, the boring stuff, I was so, like, not even with when Trump was elected, whether I feel I support it or I'm not for it, I felt so strongly about it. My first instinct wasn't to retweet. My first instinct wasn't to post. My first instinct was to look up information.
Right.
Check facts.
Yep.
And I wanted to write. I was so angry. Like, I wanted to almost send strongly worded emails. So when I first graduated, I dedicated... It should be
1989 for real.
No, I dedicated weeks when I first graduated from college to sending to, like, writing letters at change.org, like, just different websites, just expressing how I felt about politics. And within doing that, I would realize you research before you write. Mm-hmm. This letter is objective. And then I would sit back and go, wow, there's this post that I wanted to repost that's so subjective and so one-sided. Mm-hmm. But this is truly how I feel.
Right.
But in a sense, our social media is our personality. It's our outlet. It's fun. It's our first thought.
Right.
We put our first thought out there, not realizing, like, how much it affects... Everything.
Yeah.
It affects so much.
So much. And if we tweeted or shared on Facebook, and so many people do, just the first thing that comes through their mind, or, oh, wow, I think that's funny, let me share it really quick. Not thinking about how it's going to affect somebody else. If you have a family member that has a different view than you or whatever. But today, you know, and we were talking about, like, how if today would have happened as a Black Lives Matter protest, how different it would have turned out.
Right.
How the media would have portrayed it. How today was the first time that I did hear someone from the media call what happened today a riot, call people that stormed the Congress or the Capitol building, you know, they called them terrorists. And that's the first time we've heard it this blatantly. But so many people are, you know, so used to sharing, oh, but they're not calling it this, but they're not calling it this.
Yes.
But because you forget to pay attention, you're so caught up in sharing, you're so caught up in tweeting, you're so caught up in, oh, this is what the internet says really quick, let me share this because I think that's right and I feel that.
Right.
But you forget to really pay attention. Are you really watching what's happening? Are you watching the internet tell you what's happening?
And that reminds me of, like, when I was covering the protests, I was still in radio and I was still in media. Uh-huh. I remember just feeling like I don't want to watch this, like, literally how I feel today, but I had to.
Right.
So it was hard for me, and I was taking everything home with me that was happening. But mind you, I'm talking over, you know, top 40 music, but I still have to report what's going on in an objective way without putting my opinion or without putting any emotion in it.
Did it feel superficial?
It felt like no matter what I say, it's going to be wrong. Because I'm either going to be too happy, too nonchalant, to where someone who's really affected by this, as myself, is going to feel like, wow, she's not saying enough. Or it's going to feel the opposite way, to where, why are you feeling so sad? These are looters. These are rioters. These are protesters. Mm-hmm. I have to really respect both opinions. And it was one of those days to where I was like, I don't want to respect both opinions. I don't. Like, if I have to respect both opinions, I will say nothing. Because that's honestly how I felt. Mm. And now thinking about it today, like, it's one of those things to where, again, my friends, whatever, we retweet, you know, there's been times when, like, or repost, like, I would unfollow someone because I get so mad, but it's like, mind you, my job, you know, and again, in entertainment was more, you know, you deflect, You tell them what's going on, but then you deflect. But I'm just like, again, we have regular news, entertainment news. Like, another big headline, Kim and Kanye.
Yes.
I would rather focus my energy on that today. But unfortunately, what's more
Something
real
else.
is what's going on in politics. It's like a distraction, but it's like,
right.
What do you rather? Like, because am I mad at that reporter that thought today was the day to break the news that Kim and Kanye are getting a divorce, you know?
Right.
Or am I happy that that person is giving me an outlet from the big news that's happening today?
Exactly.
That is...
I do, yes, and I agree. And we will come back to Kim and Kanye because it's what is happening in social media. But right. I do want to point that today was a big day in the U.S. in general because Georgia went blue and John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock won their races.
Unfortunately, do you want to know how I found out that Georgia even went blue?
And that's huge.
Memes.
And
memes.
Yeah,
memes. That's how I found out.
But our media, like, completely ran over that. Like, that's a huge thing. And, okay, so Trump supporters storm the Capitol, and then Kim and Kanye are getting a divorce. And unfortunately, like, Kim and Kanye getting a divorce
was number one.
It's a huge one.
Capitol number 2.
Exactly.
And then Georgia going blue is number 3. But you want to know what's sad? Me working in media. Do you want to know why that was the, not even...
The tier?
The tier?
Yeah.
Because that's what people consumed.
Yeah.
Not what we put out. We probably, you know, not even we, because it's on the outside.
What people absorb.
There's been times when I post 3 stories, one gets more popular, so you see that more. And then now you're getting, you know, the media only tell, oh, no. Unfortunately, clearly,
just
America
kidding.
would rather
Kim and
look
Kanye.
at Kim and Kanye.
Oh, my goodness.
But it's like, who do you blame? But at the same time, it's like, you blame everyone and you blame yourself.
Right. Because you put it out.
Because, like,
and
secretly,
you blame everybody.
You are the reason why Kim and Kanye is what you're seeing first. Not because...
Right.
But then it's like, at the same time, the media has a job to push it out there, but... When they're pushing it out there, are you mad that you're scrolling, and all you see is stupid Georgia went blue, and you don't see that Kim and Kanye? Like, that's... Right. It's like that... What do you... It's like that weird fine line.
If, you know, is that a thing, though? Or, like, do celebrities really have the upper hand?
Right.
Are they... Do we really care that much about people we don't say we care about? Because I'm not gonna lie, I love the Kardashians, and
Me too.
I don't care what anybody says.
So to put into not even perspective, but what's going on today, everyone's talking about Kim and Kanye possibly getting divorced. Mind you, hasn't even been 1,000,000% confirmed. There's no episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians about it, but are people talking about it? Yeah, they are. They just are.
They're discussing divorce.
They're discussing divorce.
Which is happening. But
that's all you have.
The rumor, and that's stupid, but the rumor is that Jeffree
Star
Star was involved.
I'm reporting it. I would say reports say, right?
Right. Reports say that Kim and Kanye are discussing divorce.
Breaking. Kim and Kanye are discussing a divorce. You know, me and you are discussing our lives.
We're discussing.
Like, we have real lives. They're discussing divorce, and I'm discussing, like, how I'm going to get my bills paid.
Right.
We're discussing you picking up your car and me getting a new car, hopefully.
Oh my God, my car comes back tomorrow.
Do you see what I'm saying?
So exciting. I'm
like,
so
it's just like the difference in life. Like, who can care about, like, no one was discussing my breakup. You know what I mean? But it's just like the influence. Like, it is a real thing, and it's literally a headline.
It's a headline. I will say that to circle back around to my life, just because I think this is a cool fact. I did get to meet the architect who built Kim and Kanye's compounds.
Ooh.
And I just, whatever. I think that's cool. But now they're going to have to move out of that, and I'm not cool about it, but whatever.
I'm not going to lie. That's a pretty fun fact, and I'm glad that you stated this here forever because, like, you get brownie points for that.
Thanks.
Just putting that
I
out
had,
there.
like, random little factoids of that in my life.
I
and I'll, like, we'll share them through the...
Fun fact, I was working in radio when Kanye announced that he was running for presidency, and I wrote an article saying, breaking... Kanye's announced he's running for president. And I was like, this is
that didn't happen.
Sad. Not even to say that I'm writing this. He's me just, you know, again, it is what it is. Opinions aside. But I was just like, wow, that's breaking right now. I remember when I wrote an article about Kim feeling like because of quarantine, you know, she's never spent so much time with Kanye and the kids and she can't take it anymore. But I'm like, but this is my real life. And I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and, like, my room is my living room, which is an entertainment room, which is the club, which is also the kitchen. But meanwhile, I'm talking about these people that have a 26 whatever bedroom house. I don't know how many bedrooms they have. That's cool. That's our life.
It's fine. We're just poor.
We're poor. It's cool. It's cool. It's fine.
It's fine. It's whatever. I get my car back tomorrow.
Well, we'll be rich. Again, you said it. So I think it's only fair. So every episode, at the end of the episode, we're going to pick a theme based off of what happened today. Because this is how we're going to get our outlet out. Because again, mind you, we're still going to be, we're still not rich. And we're still have to go back to our normal lives.
Number 1.
Right. So every day we're going to do an episode.
I'm still a bartender and a college student.
Same. And I'm still trying to figure out, what time is it? I have 27 days to figure out how I'm going to pay next month's rent.
Right.
So life is the same. So we both, one thing again, our outlet is music. So we're going to put a playlist, but it's always going to be a mood for the day. So we can maybe put the date or something fun like that. So today's theme, so at the beginning of the episode, because this is the introduction.
Right.
I think it's only fair because we both care about family, our backgrounds and everything. We both live in Austin, we're both in Texas, we're both pretty chill, and we're keeping it cash. Your dad calling us. So we start the podcast, your dad calls us.
Awful.
Let's just leave it. So let's call this podcast Devon's dad or Dad's Playlist.
Okay.
And what it's going to be is not what you think.
Okay.
Dad's Playlist, because mind you, my first interaction.
You're throwing me for a loop. I'm very confused.
Okay, yeah, I'm surprising her. Okay,
Mari's making this up as she goes.
When I first met her dad, it was the election day.
It was.
And you want to know how I even know anything about him, his personality? We're scrolling through Facebook, and he posted it was a meme of Trump that said, "You're fired," right?
Yes.
And I was like, Devon, I need you to tell your dad that
he was like the first
ever.
one.
Oh,
it was immediately.
And I thought that was funny until I talked to him today. And it just gives me not even more perspective about your life, but okay, so he introed it. He goes, so he pretty much asked us when we do the podcast, is it going to be a fun podcast or...
Is it going to be a shitstorm?
Or a shitstorm. He's like, no, he said, is it going to be serious or a shitstorm? And we said, well, we're drinking wine, so we'll find out. We don't know.
Oops!
I think today we'll call it... So every episode, we're going to call this, though, is it going to be a shitstorm or is it going to be serious? We can say today was serious. We did good. We were on topic. So today was serious. So today's playlist is going to be called Dad's Playlist on our Spotify. We'll put the info. But it's not going to be what songs, your dad plays because, he's a musician. You'll hear again at the beginning of the podcast. But let's do how does today make you feel? Because politics, election, supposed to be happy times. We're about to switch out, offices.
But I'm not feeling that right now.
I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling like Roll's eyes. I want to dance and get away from all the drama. I ignored it today. So
you did ignore it, but I did not ignore it. So I'm all up in it. I'm feeling like Marvin Gaye, what's going on in my brain. Yeah.
So Dad's Playlist is going to be that.
Yeah.
Mind you, now this is the twist. This is why it's Dad's Playlist. It has to only be men. We're going to do that.
I feel like, sure. But the next week has to be only women because I feel like
5 songs?
Oh, it's like a mini playlist.
We'll give a mini playlist. 5 songs.
Okay.
5 songs.
Fair. That's fair. But next week it only has to be women because I'm that kind of person. Next week is only women. I don't care what the topic is.
It has to be.
I hope it's something outlandish, and I hope it's like some like male pornographer like did some bullshit, and like then we have to have an only women's playlist.
Okay.
But
but yeah, thanks for listening to this episode when we did it. Cheers. Hold on.
We don't have a title.
Let's clink by the
cheers,
mic.
Y'all.
Clink. Wine, and then the wine that we're drinking today is Snoop Dogg's.
It's not Snoop Dogg. It's whatever. It has Snoop Dogg's face on it. We don't know the name.
It's Snoop Dogg's wine, so cheers.
It's red. You can get it at H-E-B.
Yeah. Well, again, that's a Texas thing, but still.
You can get it at the grocery store. It's cheap. It's fine.
Cheers.
Bye. I'm good. Everything's great. I told you, I'm at a friend's house. We're about to record a podcast. Yeah, so we're just kind of... What?
If I can come up with some stupid shit to send to you, like for all that, I don't know what you're doing. Are you doing stupid shit or what?
We don't know yet. We're just kind of brainstorming right now. We're drinking some wine, trying to get our creative juices flowing. And so we're just, brainstorming ideas. So if you got one, send it our way.
I will do that, sweetheart. That is so awesome.
Music too.
Okay.
Music, yeah. Send us songs and stuff too. Because we're going to do a playlist and like keep up with the whatever.
I love you. Oh my God, I love you.
I love you too, Dad.
Well, of course I'm always going to, but now there's this.